Alright, good evening everybody. Well, or good morning if you're watching it in the morning, I suppose. Welcome to a little series that I'm going to do, hopefully quite a few of, over the next week or so. Basically, I'm looking to test for the WMCQ, and due to the fact that I'm not really in a position to test on real life that much, I thought what I'd do was test on Magic Online. Unfortunately, I can't quite test the full version of the deck. I can only test a budget version. But it's not actually that far away from the real version. I'm fairly close. There's just one or two key pieces missing, and that'll probably make a difference in a few games, but hopefully not too much. The main idea of the deck's still there. I should be able to get a good feel for how the matchups and stuff. Just might miss out on one or two wins where you're not quite able to put it away because you don't quite have the full card quality. Anyway, that's enough talk about that. So if you know me at all, you're probably quite aware of the sort of deck that I like to play, and this is no different. So let's see if we can get it up now. I am playing Burn. So yeah, apart from the really terrible joke, normally I would play Control, but I really don't think that I'm going to finish a round, or not enough rounds anyway, with blue-white Control to win the WMCQ, which is my ultimate goal. And so I figured, what would be a good option? Well, Burn's powerful, your rounds finish pretty fast, and according to the pros and from what I've seen playing it at the previous WMCQ, it's pretty well favoured against quite a lot of decks. The only matchup that really worries me, well, not the only matchup that worries me, but one of the matchups that really worries me is blue-white Control, or anything which boards a load of Nyx Rams and Fiendslayer Paladins. But apart from that, it's pretty well good against a lot of things, and that's what I found at the WMCQ in Gatwick. I ended up only going 3-3 and dropping, but a lot of that's to do with, well, there's always something you can find at fault, even if you play pretty damn well. But realistically, except for a horrible misplay, probably the worst play that I've made since I started playing the game, no exaggeration. Apart from that, I should have been 4-1, and with a tiny bit more luck, I would have been 5-0 potentially as well. I was already getting quite lucky in that game. But anyway, yeah. So I'm quite confident this is a decent deck that's got enough power to take down the WMCQ, and yeah, it's actually quite fun. It's quite relaxing actually to be not completely on the back foot all the time. Anyway, this enough of this talk. Let's talk about the deck. It started off as pretty much exactly Matt Sperling's list from the Pro Tour, without Mutavaults and Chandras and the Eidolons, because Eidolon of the Great Revel, because they're the most expensive cards by quite some distance, and the rest of the shell you can get for quite cheap. So after playing it online and at the WMCQ, I thought I'd try out one or two different things. The main thing is 4 Magma Jets. They weren't in the 75 at all at the Pro Tour, and I just thought I'd try them out to keep the curve a little bit lower. They work, cheaper spells work better with Young Pyromancer, and you draw more action. I mean, that's what Magma Jet's about. It's not a lot of damage, but the point was that these Syrian Bloods, which I've cut 2 of, weren't incredible at the WMCQ. I only had one match where I really wanted them, which was green-white, and the rest of them I just cut them. So I thought, well, Magma Jet's never going to be a dead card, and you still get the same functionality of taking out cheap creatures. So I thought I would try those. The rest of the deck's fairly straightforward. There's 4 Shock, 4 Lightning Strike, 4 Skullcrack, 4 Young Pyromancer, 4 Boros Charm. All of these things are pretty straightforward burn cards. 4 Chandra's Phoenix, probably the best card in the deck, I think, actually. And then just at the top, I've cut a couple of these 4 mana spells. So I've got 3 Helix and 3 Stokes in order to try and make room for the Magma Jets. And that's pretty much it. Mana base is the classic Matt Sperling mana base with only the 3 Sacred Foundries. But really, he's absolutely right. You don't miss the Sacred Foundries. You don't miss that white fixing at all. And you'd much rather have to not pay 2 lives sometimes with this to get on curve, whereas you know you can just pay the colourless and not have to pay the life, and it really, I think that's really smart, and it's a really good spot by him that you don't need the full Sacred Foundries. The sideboard is not perfect. Again, oops, that's the wrong lever. Sideboard's not perfect, and it's about as close as I can get within budget. Normally Chandra's have been here. Chandra is really probably, in fact, thinking about what I said just a minute ago, Chandra is probably the strongest card in the deck when you want it. I mean, I got extremely lucky with it against blue-white control the other day, but I did flip just absolute runner, Boros Charms, Stoke the Flames, just every turn with it. He obviously had no answer, which made a great difference, but anyway. So we've got Chain to the Rocks for, taking out the things with more than 4 toughness, and even for things with 4 toughness, taking them out for more efficient price, and also for preventing Corsair Crucifix from blocking when you're about to swing for the win. That's also a good mode of this card. So they're pretty good at stopping Polychronosis and stuff like that, just stopping you getting raced back from massive fat guys from sort of Jund or whatever. Satiafied Answer, they're absurd, absolutely absurd in the right matchups, where you're playing against cheap creatures, sort of Rabble Red or Mono Blue or Green White, you just get to race them by just pointing burn at their face, and they can't actually keep a board together because you just kill their guys as well. It's really absurd against Mono Green or something like that, but I think it's probably also very good against Mono Blue, where they only have sort of bound spells or rapid hybridization to interact. Probably less good against Rabble Red, but it still blocks. I mean, and if you get to go block shock, then that's 2 damage from them. Kills a creature and also blocks, so that seems really good. There's a Wear Tear randomly here for just catch-alls. This is still from the Matt Sperling sideboard. All these cards are in the Matt Sperling sideboard. Wear Tear, it takes out a Ram. It's just got nice functionality. It takes out a Nyxfleet Ram. It takes out Bow of Nylea and Whip of Erebos, which do turn up sort of on the off chance in Jund decks. I like boarding this in against Jund because you still kill coursers for a knockdown price. So even if they don't have Whip or Bow, you still have access to this. The other 2 Syrian Bloods are in the board. These would probably, I would probably just play Chandras here if I had them, but I don't, so that's making up the full set. I've gone up to 4 Glare of Heresy because, as earlier mentioned, I just lost so many games to blue-white where they just made a mixture of Rams, Archangels, and Fiendslayer Paladins, and I didn't have the interaction at the time, so I died, basically. The Nyxfleet Ram isn't such a problem because you can race 1 if you've got a good draw. Racing 2 is more difficult, and yeah, you really need something for it, but Fiendslayer is the absolute killer, and you can't really rely on Chain to the Rocks against them because although Cleansing is the version that won the Pro Tour, it's actually not, I think, the popular version. D-Spheres are still popular, and if you get your Chain to the Rocks D-Sphered, that's win for them. So you know they're perfectly happy to fight over Fiendslayer Paladin because it's that absurd. It just wins the game. So you really want it gone for good. So Glare's that. So I'm going to try it. There was 2 originally in the sideboard. I'm going to try out full 4 because, especially in the wake of not having Chandra. Yeah. And the last slot is a random Flames of the Firebrand that I have knocking around. I genuinely just put it in because I needed a sideboard card, but I think it actually might be quite good against Rabble Red. It's kind of Arc Trail in that respect against them. Takes out Rabble Master. Well, you probably don't want to wait till your turn to take out Rabble Master, but takes out 2 guys. So this is still a flexible slot, but I feel like against the really aggro decks, having this is potentially right. I haven't played the Mirror yet, and I might be a little short on cards for the Mirror. There's Chain to the Rocks, obviously. But yeah, so there's potential that this should be something for the Mirror, maybe even a Ram. That's kind of a funny thing to do. But anyway, yeah, so enough talk about that. I'm just going to jump into probably just playing tournament practice for now, just to get a feel of whether these jets and stuff are correct, or if I like them or not. And then I might do some 2-mans, or well, I won't do a daily today, but I might do some 2-mans. Yeah, we'll just see how things go. So